Warm welcome to this webinar of Dheya. My name is Naveen Badrinarayan. I'm working with Dheya as the Director of Research and Product Design and Mentor Engagement. My background is I've been in the Indian Navy for about 21 years. I'm a commander by rank and I'm a mechanical engineer. I spent my time on the submarines of the Indian Navy. And when I was, looking at the future and I was being taken in as a scientist in the DRDO, I decided to question that decision and I decided to explore my future. And I was going through the mid career at that point in time. So I was looking at doing something for the youth of India. And I had these crazy thoughts in my head as to I wanted to make youth think aspirational, make them think big, work with the youth. And I said that at that point in time, about 7 years back, when I decided to leave the Navy, I was absolutely unsure about how life is going to be outside. But one thing was very clear that I wanted to do something with the youth, for the youth, and make them think different. That was in my mind, but I had no clue how am I going to go about it. The only way to go about it was to go into the education system, which I had never seen, and try and do some teaching, which I thought I was very good at because I've always been good in academics. I've always done well. I was a topper in my master's in mechanical engineering, and I always believed that I can teach people very well. I was also an instructor in Navy for a long period of time, and I've been into design for about 10, 11 years. That my later part of my life in the Navy was like that. In the initial part, I was operating the submarines as the chief engineer. So I was a hardcore mechanical engineer, and I knew my beans very well in mechanical engineering. So typically, I went and taught in an engineering college. I went into engineering college and I started teaching there, and I realized that nothing has changed. 1990, I did my engineering. And today, 2014, when I went to engineering college, it was the same, the same curriculum and the same subjects and the same numericals. And I only said that I don't remember in my 20 years of naval engineering experience, where have I single time utilized, say matrices and determinants or partial differential equations or integrations or whatever I solved, though I was very good at it. But I said there has to be something different. And when I started talking to the principal and the staff there, nobody seemed to be interested. Everybody only says that AICT curriculum has to be finished. We have to finish the syllabus. We have to ensure that they get a degree. And that was not what I was thinking about. And I said, we have to get people ready for work. We have to get people ready to understand how to grow themselves, how to build aspirations. And I used to go and talk to a lot of youngsters. And every time I used to ask them, what is motivating you to be an engineer, especially in engineering college? And every time I used to get an answer, we want to get a good job, we want to earn money. That's it. Not a single guy will tell me that he wants to be somebody great in Google and all that. Now this thing of, aspiration building was absent in the entire society, and it is still absent. I don't see it much in many places. People want money, people want paisa and gadi and bangla, but they don't have aspirations to do something great in the world of work. Now this is where when I was talking to people outside the Navy and I was trying to identify how I can do this work, everybody used to laugh at me, said, yes, khayali pulav hai, this doesn't work. Go and start a coaching class, you'll make a lot of money. Go and do something, you'll make a lot of money. I said, no, the idea is not about making a lot of money. The idea is about creating an impact. And that is when I came across Dheya. And Dheya was a very small organization at that point in time. Anand had started it and there were about 9-10 people, though they had started way back in 2006. But in 2014, the organization had not grown that much. There were only 9-10 people in the organization and they were still struggling with getting the revenues in and managing, but they had survived. The best part of it is that they survived from 2006 to 2014 without funds, without anything. And that's the time I came across Dheya, and I happened to be one of the prototype batches where they were thinking of making mentors from the industry. And that was the first ad which came in, and I applied for it. And they told me that you have to go through some training, you have to go level 1 training and then level 2 training and all that. So I told them, boss, see, I've already spent 25 years of my life in the Navy and I know a lot and I can help youngsters and I'm very passionate about it. So you give me the entire training so that I can start my work. I don't want to, do this level 1, level 2 and all that. At which point I was told that, it's not so simple as it sounds. You may know a lot about the Navy, about mechanical engineering, but managing people, understanding them and working with them and mentoring them is not as simple as it sounds. You got to learn the skill and it takes time. So I was not ready to take it at that point in time because I used to believe that I'm too senior and what are you talking about? But then when I attended the training, I realized, that my cup was unnecessarily full. I need to empty my cup to learn. So that was my first learning. And after that, I had a lot of chats with Anand. I used to speak to him. And every time I used to go and talk to him, I was very passionate about my cause that I want to work with the youth. I want to create something. I want to do something for the education system. I want to disrupt this whole education system and do something different. So he said that, we have the same thought. So if you're so passionate, why don't you think of joining the organization, part of my team? I started thinking, because the organization was too small. I was not too, sure that I join, should I not join. It took a lot of time for me to decide. It took about 6, 7 months for me to take a decision after I met Anand about 5, 6 times. And then I joined as a director and I became a partner in the company. And then on last 6 years, let me tell you, I have been enjoying my work as a mentor. I've been training mentors across the country. So initial time was very tough because I have a mechanical engineer. I knew nothing about mentoring. I knew nothing about psychometrics, and everything had started from the scratch. So the first 6 months to a year was a big, I would say, a jolt for me, because I was shifting into from a bureaucratic officer's life to a entrepreneurial small organization which is not funded, which has to hunt for survival, which has to work for money every day. Every month, the salaries have to be paid to the employees. We have to work and we have to ensure that the money comes in. It was a very, very challenging phase for me. But I learned slowly. And Anand gave me a lot of leeway that he said, you got to just be there. That's it. Face the pressure, what it comes. And I was there. So we used to go travel across the country. I used to watch Anand take sessions, and slowly I picked up. And after which I started taking sessions, and I've done more than about 80 odd training sessions across India. I've trained more than about 2,500 people. I have done more than about 500 sessions with students and parents. I have worked with the mid-career professionals. I've done more than about 50 odd mid-career sessions. And these 6 years have been a game changer for my life. When I have really enjoyed every moment of the work that I've been doing. I'm not just saying for the sake of saying it. It comes from my heart, because, I love the work that I'm doing, because I see a lot of changes in the mind of the person whom I'm dealing with, whether it is a youngster or it's a mid-career, because we believe in a very different philosophy of positivity. It's completely based on the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. We have understood the concepts and we have applied it in a very technical way, in a very scientific, in a structured methodology, through which we are using those tools in a very positive way, and we see that impact happening with that person at that point in time. So one session changes the way a person looks at life. Okay, so it's so powerful, and I mean every word of mine. And it's really proud to say that the students whom we have dealt with today, each one of them is doing wonders, and they still are in touch with us. And I don't claim anything for whatever we have done, because we're just using a tool and we're just talking to them and we are giving them a lot of energy. But what happens is they start flying, and when they start flying, when they start doing well, they are your best friends and you build good relationship with them. So this whole concept of career mentoring is a very new concept. It's not something that it's easily available. We have actually scanned the entire industry, and we find people use these words very loosely. There's nobody who is actually putting in their heart and soul into the work. Dheya is an organization which believes in putting your heart and soul into what you do. So this thing is that becoming self-employed as a career mentor, of course, it's a part-time opportunity. Today we have more than about 3,500 to 4,000, approximately that number. I don't know the exact number right now, but that's the kind of number of mentors that we have today with us. But then each one of these mentors has been kind of selected, have been curated, and then they have been trained. And after the training, they have become part of this community. So those of you who believe that you are really crazy and you want to impact the youth and you want to do it from your heart and soul, this place of a career mentor is very, very sacred for Dheya. Dheya believes that any mentor coming into our platform should be somebody who is a person whom anybody would look up to. Credibility is a very important thing at this point in time. So credibility is something that we will never compromise on. So we look for mentors who are very credible in their profession, who are very credible in the position that they hold, in the work that they are doing. We believe a mentor should be a person who has seen life. So we don't take anybody below the age of 35 or 38, 35 for ladies and 38 for males. And we say that you have to have a certain age and experience for you to be talking eye to eye with a parent or a professional or somebody who's at that stature, because generally we are dealing with children beyond the age of 13, 14. That means the parents are the age of 40, 45 years. So if you have to deal with them one-on-one and get them into your loop and convince them and work with them for a long time, you need to have that kind of life experience also. That's something that we believe in. So there are certain criteria that we use to curate our mentors, and then we do an extensive training program. So our training is very extensive, where you will be learning the skills of mentoring, you will be using tools, and all these tools, mind you, have been developed in-house. So we do not believe in any kind of tool which has been made in the US or in the Europe, or because that's nonsense, because we have tried all that and we believe that it has to be validated to the Indian norms. The way an Indian mind thinks, the way the Indian person thinks, or a lady thinks, or a man thinks, is very different from a way an American would think, or an African would think, or anybody would think. So it has to be validated. So the validated tool is very important, A. But B, beyond the tool, The processes that we use, nobody talks about processes. We have got very structured, detailed processes which we have developed. There are workbooks, there are documentation, there is, processes that have been designed using, tools like appreciative inquiry, positive psychology, which have been developed in-house by Dheya. We have our own research team, we have our own IT team. Algorithms have been written, portals have been created, research portals are there, 22,000 occupations have been researched upon and data has been put into it. It is correlated to the psychology of a person. So there's a lot of back end work that's gone into creating this whole system of, mentoring people. And that is why this training is extremely important. So the mentors who get trained with us, they have to commit a lot, because it's not just a workshop, that you do. It's a kind of a proper training where you're learning a new skill. A lot of information download happens in it, a lot of documentation happens in it. So you have to be there in the training. It's an interactive session. You will be using the tool on yourself. So you will yourself get impacted by the tool. You will learn the tool by using it on yourself, and therefore you have to be completely involved. So it's not just just you come and attend a corporate session and you go out. No, it's a proper training. It's like going back to school. So that's the kind of training that we believe in. The first training is a basic training, which happens for about 27 hours. After which you have a lot of refresher sessions, because by the time, we are changing, the world is changing very fast. So the research keeps changing. So our world of work is getting updated, the research is getting updated, the connectivity is getting updated. So as the updations happen, you have to do refreshers. So the community keeps getting back together with refreshers, with updation. So the knowledge is like, it's immense. So the learning keeps happening. You also get connected with a network of these 3,500 mentors. So all these mentors are the same. There is no hierarchy in the organization. Every single mentor is respected. They have a very strong credibility in the market. Everybody knows them as great mentors. So we connect with them, and you also connect with each other. And that way, there's a brilliant network that gets created which can help the youth together. So the common thing is everybody wants to impact the youth. There also is into a lot of social responsibilities, where we are working with a lot of underprivileged people. We are working with the World Bank. We are working with various governments. We are working with NSDC. We are also working with the tribal population in a particular government project. Anand happens to be a consultant of World Bank, so he gets those projects, and then Deya's team works on it. And today, as we speak, there are more than 2 lakh tribal women who have taken our psychometrics, and we have the data of entire Jharkhand tribal population with us, and that work is ongoing right now. So there's a lot of work that is happening, and all our mentors are involved in it. So once you join the mentoring community, the scope of work is immense. Remember, it's not just about taking a session. It's not just about a psychometric tool. It is more about having a urge or a need to impact the youth of India and to make India the number one country in the world. Now, that's the dream on which all of us have, at least all the mentors, have the common thought. And that's why the mentors who come in have to have a very different perspective about what life is going to be, is about how a life is going to be impacted. It is not about just doing a session and earning some money out of it. Yes, the payment that Dheya does to the mentors is quite handsome. We have a very good system of scheduling the session and then taking the feedback, and it's a closed loop. So once you join the community, we have a proper IT-based system for scheduling sessions, for conducting the sessions, for taking feedback from the customer, making payouts to our mentors. It's a complete closed loop. So everybody is like, it's a controlled system, because we believe in the credibility of the organization. If the organization has to do well, everybody has to believe in the philosophy of impacting that family. So that family has to get impacted. The family has to go up and has to talk about, they has to talk about how they've got impacted. So a lot of positivity has to be generated. Now for that, we have to have a process which is standardized across the globe, and we have mentors now across the globe. So a lot of people join us from, say, South Africa, Australia, Indians. They join us and they become mentors. And now all the sessions are being conducted online, so there is no problem. We have a very strong Microsoft Teams collaborative system that has been created. So we do all our work on the Microsoft Teams. So that's not a problem at all. So this is the entire, scope of the mentoring that we talk about. Now, what do you mean by mentoring? We need to understand this whole mentoring concept. So what I'm going to do is, I've given you a very macro brief about what Dheya is and what Dheya has been doing, and an introduction about myself. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to open the house to certain questions, and you can ask the questions and I'll be happy to answer them. I think we'll keep it more interactive so that it
Right.
solves both our problems, right? So let's keep it more interactive. So I'm open to asking questions. So those of you who want to ask questions, you can raise your hand. Okay. What is the minimum qualification? So as I mentioned, let's revise it. Minimum qualification is, we said 10 years of work experience, age-wise 35 for ladies and 38 for the male candidates. And the credibility, what we do is, we have a system of, going through your background. There'll be an interview with the master mentors. We have a level of master mentors in our system who conduct the trainings. So these master mentors would be interviewing you, talking to you, understanding you, and then we will invite you for the program. So that's how this whole process would go. There's a small psychometric assessment that you have to give, based on which we also identify your nature, your personality, which you will understand during the training. The same psychometric tool will be used. You will be using that tool to know yourself very well, discover yourself, and in your training you'll get. And it's also a selection process for us, because we come to know if somebody is going through some stress, or if you're frustrated, if you're not happy, we come to know through the psychometric tool. So we don't want any mentor joining our community who is today in a very depressed state, or in a what's happening in the world. It's quite bad out there. So we need to be very careful as to who's joining us. So we have a psychometric tool which is very powerful, which can identify if you're going through any stress or any problems. If you're going through a stress or problem, we'll give you some time. We'll talk to you, we'll let you know that there is a problem, and we can even help you. But once you are over the problem, once you become confident and positive, then we get you into the community, not at this stage. So that's one of the qualification criteria. Yes, your credibility in your industry and all matters. Because if you have to mentor somebody, then you need to have a certain credibility, because when you'll be talking to a parent across the table, and you'll be sitting with the parents and the child, when you give your introduction, it has to be something very impressive. So that's very important for us. So these are certain qualification criteria that we have, and our team will be in touch with you, and they'll take you through the process in a very streamlined manner. It will not take much time. Moment they talk to you, things will happen very fast. Before you realize, you'll get an answer whether you are there or you're not there. So that happens quite smoothly. Okay, there is no upper age limit. We have got some admirals who have joined us, but yes, people are passionate, and today the age is not a limit. And mentoring is a particular work which, sir, you can do till the time you're alive. I mean, it doesn't require anything, because you have to be tech savvy. Of course, that's one important thing, because now we are doing a lot of thing online and everything is digital. So what I've seen is a lot of people who are slightly older have a challenge with technology. So if you are not like that, if you are a person who can capable to handle technology, you must get into it, because it's a fantastic field. The kind of thank yous that you'll get will be amazing, and that's what all of us dream for after a certain age, right? So there's no upper age limit. You can definitely join. 55 is a perfect age to join. Okay, at what of the day week the mentoring takes place? So mentor training normally happens on weekends. So we do the trainings on Saturdays and Sundays. Our master mentors conduct it. So every weekend there is a batch. So once the batch is announced, our team will be in touch with you to schedule you, to get you registered for that batch. So as soon as you register for it, and your qualification process is over, you'll get an invitation for the batch, and you can join the batch on that particular weekend. So it's 27 hours. So it takes about, say if you do 6 hours in a particular day, so morning 3 hours and afternoon 3 hours. So approximately 4 weekends, it takes to complete, and one more Saturday to complete the entire training. It's a 4 days training program. So approximately we do 8 to 9 hours on one day. So we finish it in 4 days. It happens on Saturday, Sunday. So 2 weekends you have to commit. Or if we do only Sunday batches, we also have Sunday batches where Sunday, 4 Sundays it finishes.
So how much time do I need to spend every day?
I'll answer this question. So I'll tell you what typically happens. Now I'll give you my example. I was a mechanical engineer, knew nothing about psychometrics, but I had an intention of working with youth. So I had got into the system, learned about Dheya. So the initial month or so, okay, you have to commit, because you're learning something new. You're learning psychometrics, you're learning processes, you're learning documentation, you're learning how to do mentoring, how to talk to parents, how to get the parents to get convinced, because more than the child, handling parents becomes a concern. You understand, children are very easy to handle, but in mentoring, getting the mother and father also into your loop, making them understand this and getting them all together and harmonizing it is a very big skill, and that is something that you get trained on. And we do a lot of focus on that training to understand different career stages, because you'll be dealing with right from 9th standard student to a college going student. At every stage the requirements are going to be different. So you got to understand the beliefs, understand the mindsets of the Indian population. How do you understand the parents background? Does he come from a corporate background? Does he come from a business background? Again, the thinking is going to be different. How do you understand the thought process? So the psychology that is involved, a practical psychology, it's not theoretical. The practical psychology, because we have learned a lot in the last 15, 16 years. All that learning has gone into those processes. So we have learned the techniques of how to get these parents to be convinced, how to speak to the parent, how to speak to the child. So this is all going to be part of the training. So the initial 1 month, I would say, it takes a lot of effort from your side to assimilate the training and to practically use it. So you may have to spend some extra hours learning in your own time. And then the faster you start doing your sessions, so you do around 4 or 5 sessions, by the 5th session, you are on the go. Some people are very smart. Second session, third session itself is a great session for them. Some people average, if you look at it, by the 3rd, 4th, 5th sessions, people generally, everybody gets on track, because the selection process itself is so strong that we only select the people who are very passionate. So if you're very passionate about the cause and you really love doing what you're doing, third, fourth session, you will be doing well. But the first 2, 3 sessions is learning curve. So that is how it happens. After you have crossed the learning curve in the 1 month or 1.5 months, then you just don't need to spend much time. You will be getting those whenever you refer somebody and you get a call with somebody and our team works on it and you have to do a session. You just prepare for about half an hour, 1 hour, and you'll be ready, because you have a research portal with you. You have made your notes. You already know the entire thing. You just have to prepare according to that person's profile, and you'll be ready to go and do that. Each session is about 3 hours, so you got to prepare. You got to be so strong with that 3 hour session, because the 3 hours are minute to minute counted. It's like there are so many processes, there are so many things that you have to do in those 3 hours. So as a workbook has to be filled up. So all that happens. So you get trained into this entire new skill. So the initial 1.5 months you have to commit, after which you get used to it. That is what has happened with me also, and it has happened with most of the mentors who have joined, if that answers your question. So see, again, this compensation question is something that is variable. Now it depends on what kind of time you are willing to invest. I would put that question to you, that how many sessions would you be wanting to do? What is your dream in your mind, that how many people do you want to impact in a week, in a month? You set up your goals, and if you set up your goals, we are there to help you do as many sessions as you want to do. And if you keep doing sessions, there's no limit to what you can earn. And if you become a very good session taker, the next logical thing is you're going to become a master mentor with us. If you become a master mentor with us, the master mentor conducts training programs. So if a master mentor conducts training programs for creating mentors, so you get paid for it. So the amount of money that you can, compensation that you can make in Dheya is amazing. So there are people who make about a lakh, 1.5 lakh rupees a month also. And there are people who make just about, say, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000. So it depends. It depends on how much you're investing, how much time you're investing, how active you are, how much time do you have, because people are very busy in the corporate world also, work also. So it all depends on you.
As simple as that, it is like you are willing to work as a self-employed professional. So the more you time invest into the business, the earning is going to be
Yeah, so
according.
it's a very simple thing, that once you're into the community, we have a lot of activities that we do. We have a lot of engagement that happens. So we keep connecting with you. We keep giving you different opportunities to work on. So like this, for example, I'm doing a webinar right now. So some of our mentors conduct these webinars. They get paid for it also. And all these things happen. So a lot of activities. We do a lot of video sessions. We do a lot of panel discussions. We do a lot of social media work. To basically, the idea is to create awareness in the minds of parents and the public that there is an organization there which actually is making a change in your life. It's impacting you. So whenever you have any career problem or you're looking at any problem, approach us. We are there to help you. So that's the kind of message that we send across to the entire world. We are non-funded companies, so we don't believe in advertisements and hoardings and all that. We are not doing it. Yes, we are very strong on the social media side. We are very strong on doing webinars, on live, on doing free sessions for parents, so that parents understand us very well. So we go across communities, we talk to them. Idea is that we have to help the people. Today people are needing us, and when they need us, we have to be there for them. So once you become a popular person in the scenario, who is talking to a lot of parents, talking to a lot of things on the media, automatically you start getting calls. People say, why don't you help me out? And then Dheya is always there with you, and we all together work together and impact those people. So that's the whole process. Why not, Sunita? You're most welcome to join. You have 15 years of IT experience. I had 21 years of mechanical engineering experience. How does it make a difference what experience you have? If you are passionate about the cause and you're one of those who want to make an impact, and you believe that you have it in you to be a great mentor, you're most welcome to join us. The question of Vivekanand is, post the psychometric test, whether there'll be any training for individuals based on their scores. Let me tell you, there is no scoring per se in a psychometric. Psychometric is about understanding people. It is not about scoring. And this whole concept of scoring is something that we need to understand very well, that it doesn't work. Because by scoring, what you do is you tell one person that you are lower than the other person. We don't believe in that. We believe that every single individual is unique and great. So even when we do it with children or professionals, we believe that each one of you there has got some unique potential. You can do something great in your life. When you do our session, you will understand what happens. Your life will get transformed, because you're going to go through something extremely positive. You'll realize that the tool that we use will bring out certain discoveries in you, which you thought you were undermining all your life. And suddenly you realize that, boss, I never knew that I'm so good. And that good thing, when you realize about yourself, the way it changes your life is going to change the way you look at other people, the way you look at an organization, the way you handle people in your house. Everything is going to change. So that's the power of the training that we give. It's amazingly powerful. That much I can promise you. So there's nothing got to do with scores. It's more about you will be trained on psychometrics, how to use psychometrics, and how to get into the root of understanding people. Understanding people is a skill that you're going to gain, though we all know how to understand people, but the way we do it is very different. And I leave that as a puzzle to be solved when you join the program. I don't want to let out the cat out of the bag before that. Venkatagiri is asking question, can I take it as a full-time career? By all means, if you want to be a person who wants to do this full-time, though you'll not be employed in Dheya because we don't have a position per se as for a career mentor who's employed with Dheya, but if you want to do the career mentoring as a full-time, you can always do it. It's up to you. There are people who have started doing sessions, and then some people also open up their own centers and they start doing, like, they have become a business partner with Dheya. So that is also a possibility. So there are other possibilities also. Next question is, any upper age limit? I'm 67, retired as a very senior banker with 4 experienced faculty member. Fantastic, sir. I know you're very senior there. And if you have no issue with technology, one thing is definitely sure, that there is some new learning that's going to happen here, sir. So I would welcome you to just at least learn. And then whatever best you can do, sir, you can always do. And people like you could be people who will inspire our youth. If you can show them a path, if you can talk to them, even if you go on to a session and conduct a parenting session, conduct a session for people, I think there's a lot of value that you can add to the society, provided, you go through the process. So I would welcome you for becoming a mentor. No problems on that. Okay. Yeah, Aritra, you are 36 and you have been mentoring startup founders. Okay. So, Aritra, we could consider you. Please do apply. Let us have a talk. Let our master mentor also talk to you. And depending on the conversation that we have, we will evaluate you. And in case we find that, you have the passion and you are a person who has the experience, who can handle the mentoring bit, we will invite you for the training program. Obviously, there is no free lunch. There will be a registration fees. I would leave that to the team which will talk to you, because I handle the research, so I don't get into the commercial part of it. The commercial part of it will be handled. There's a registration fee, and the registration fee is charged upfront. And once you pay the registration fee, and after you've been selected, of course, after you've been qualified for it, then you will be invited for the. So that's how it is.
There is a question, do you mentor working professional also?
Obviously, we do mentoring for working professionals. We do mentoring for children right from the age of 13 to the professionals till the age of 55. So we have different programs. We have a program for the children, which is called the mentoring program, which is called Compass and Navigator. For the early career professionals, is called Cast Off, and for the mid-career professionals, called Revive. So we have different programs, because you'll understand that the methodology or the processes will keep changing depending on the career stage. So there are different processes, and the people who are initial training is of 24 hours. It is only for the students. Some people get selected to become mentors for the professionals. So the training is also separate. The tools are also separate. The process is also separate. So there's a separate training which happens for that.
There's a good question, how it is different from counseling. I think we always talk about this.
Fantastic question, and I would love to answer this question. Now, I'll tell you, you will go to our website, you go whatever Dheya is talking about, you will never see this word counseling anywhere. And there's a reason for it. Because, we are on the positive side of the world. Moment in Indian connotation, if you say I've gone to a counselor, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when you say that I've gone to a counselor? Something is wrong, that's why I've gone to a counselor. And we are not mentoring people who have got something wrong with them. We are mentoring normal people. We are mentoring people who are aspirational. We are mentoring people who want to do something great in life. So I don't want to be called a counselor. And tell you, counseling is the solving of problems. You have a problem, there's a counselor to solve your problem. But here there's no problem. Here it is, I want to be someone great. I want to create something great for myself. So mentoring is a understanding of the person, of the family. And at some stages, it could encompass a little bit of counseling. So counseling is a very small part of thing, may be required. If somebody is going through some problems, you could be counseling that person to take a proper decision or whatever it is, but that's a very small part of it. Mentoring is a combination of, understanding the other person's needs, understanding the family, understanding why it is important to do it, how to do it, what is to be done, and then holding their hand while they're walking the path. Okay, for the goal setting or the decision making is done by them, not by us. So you're not going to be telling them that you do this or you do that. They are going to be taking a decision, but you're going to be enabling the decision by understanding them, by getting them that confidence that there is a person here who understands me very well. He's a good friend. He has understood us very well. He knows everything about us, and I can look up to that person. That person is going to give me the right guidance. And when you show them the guidance, you're like a lighthouse. And I'm a naval guy, so I'm just giving you a lighthouse, showing the direction to the ship. You're not actually pulling the ship. The ship navigates on its own, but the light shown to them is something that we do. We have knowledge, we have research, we have data, we have processes, we have systems, so that we can show them the path, and then they navigate the path, and then we are always there for them. Whenever they need help, we are there to beam the light and show them, don't go here, you're going to fall down, go that side, that's better off, that's better off, that's how the world is changing, come on, move that side. That's mentoring. What happens in career counseling? Let me tell you. Career counseling across India is education counseling. You will do a psychometric test. It's available dime a dozen in the market. It's available free online. You will do something. Somebody will tell you take arts, take science, take commerce, do engineering, do MBA, do law. That's not what is required. That's in fact wrong. That's criminal. What should be done is every child should see a dream of being someone in this world. They have to work for 50 years of their life. Education is only 18 years. 5 years they join school, 22, 23 years they finish post graduation. 18 years of life of education. But work life is from 23 to 70 years. 50 years they have to work. Nobody is talking about that 50 years of work life. Just because somebody's joined an engineering college, they have no understanding about work life. I'm an engineer, I can tell you that for sure. And I've been talking to IIT students, nothing less than that. IIT students are not clear what they want to do. I have a third year IIT Powai student telling me, who's doing metallurgy, that he wants to do some non-technical work in life and he's planning to join social services. And I have a civil engineering student who says she wants to get into finance. Now this is the state of students in IITs. Forget about the other engineering colleges. So just because somebody selects engineering or law or anything like that, they have no clue as to what is going to happen in the world of work. Here the mentors are going to be training them, preparing them to be great professionals in the world of work. And that's the difference that we bring in mentoring as differed from counseling. Yes, this is a good question here. Great to know what is the process of psychometric test and join Dheya. Yes, this entire process, Vivekanand, will be explained by our team. Swati will get in touch with you, or Swati and her team will get in touch with you. They will take you through the entire selection process and the registration process. So if we find you suitable, we'll definitely be inviting you for the session. Yes, Venkatagiri says leads to be generated by us, so Dheya helps us on this. So it's like this, that it's a freelancing opportunity. So as a freelancing opportunity, we make you capable. We give you the tools, we give you the processes, we give you the research, we give you support. That means that we expect you to stand up on your own legs and become a great mentor. But not that we're going to leave you alone. We're going to be there with you. We have an engagement team who will be working with you. We as directors would help you stand up on your own legs. So we're going to help you understand how this business works, and we're going to enable you to be great mentors. But then we'll not be giving you leads straight away. But yes, those of you who are active, who start doing good sessions and who get a good reputation in the market, eventually what happens is they get into our forum where they are known for their sessions. So automatically when I get an incoming inquiry on the Facebook or on my website, the first person that the lead goes to is a person who has been very active with me or a great mentor. So automatically the leads start coming to you if you are in that upper circle, so-called doing sessions very well, been active in the scheme, have learned how to do it. So anyway, you will not be looking for sessions because anyway you'll be getting a lot of calls. But then even then you get more sessions. So it's a meritocratic policy where you do well, you become better and better and better. So it's a spiral which goes along with your performance. So if you are a great mentor, you will keep becoming better and better as you go by, and then you will keep getting a lot of leads also. So that's the way it works. Ramnamurthy, I said it is not only for students, it is for students and professionals, both together.
So there are a few small questions like this mentoring session right now it's happening online, right? Before pandemic we used to do it offline also, but I think now the more customers are demanding online.
No, it's more than that. I would say, we used to think that offline is the best way to do it, and we never believed that online sessions can give that kind of impact. But thanks to the pandemic, we learned our lessons, and it has become much more better. I'll tell you why. Because in offline, what we used to do is we used to compress the entire course into 2.5 days, and we used to go to a hotel, and we used to, like, from morning 9 o'clock till night 8 o'clock, we used to pump in information into the person. So what used to happen is people used to get overworked. Today, what is happening is when we are doing the session online, you get a lot of time. You're sitting at home, you're actually having workbooks, you're given home assignments. There is a week's gap in between the 2 weekends. So in that week's gap, you do a lot of home assignments. You use a learning management system. You use certain tools. So you learn the whole stuff. Assimilation becomes better. So by the time you finish the entire training, you're already reached a certain level of assimilation and understanding, which never used to happen offline. So this time the online session, and then you also have a chance that if you have not understood something, you can always join a refresher batch in the next batch coming up. So that's also open to you. So once you join the community of mentors, then we are very liberal because you become part of us. They say, okay, whenever you want to join any refresher, just let us know and join up. Don't worry about it. You can just go and sit in the class and listen to it and keep making your notes. So that way we are very liberal with our inner community. But initially you got to register and come. Once you join the community, then the life is very, very smooth after that.
Right. And there is a question. I'm a corporate communication professional. Do you have mentoring assignment for this domain?
So I would like to clarify, there is nothing got to do with domain out here. Again and again, I'm saying I'm a mechanical engineer. I have spoken to an IT professional. There are adventure specialists in our team. There are drivers in our mentor team who are specialist drivers. So you can be from any domain. It does not matter. Mentoring is not about a particular domain or a stream. Mentoring is agnostic to that. Mentoring is psychological. It is understanding a human being. and with a person with 10, 15 years of work experience and with research data with you, which you will be accessing about every single occupation in the world, it does not take much time to understand what happens in different occupations. And we are not here to spoon feed something to a child or a parent saying that I am from a corporate communication, so I will teach you everything about corporation. No, our work is very different. We believe in self learning. So we foster and we tell youngsters, we encourage them to learn on their own, but we are going to be standing by to enable them. So suppose I get a student who wants to get into corporate communication and say become a great corporate communicator or a communicator or a PRO of an organization of a large MNC, then I could connect him to you to get some research about actually what happens in that particular field, because you're already part of the community. So we have a lot of people from different spectrum of the industry, so we can always connect up. But for doing the mentoring per se, you don't need to be from any domain. You can be from any domain, but the mentoring technique is agnostic to that. It is universal. I hope I've answered that question of yours. As far as the investment and ROI goes, I've already explained that. Okay, let me tell you, we are not here to take money from you and become big or something like that. We are not a money-based organization at all. We are a completely entrepreneurial organization. For the last 16 years, our aim is to impact people. That's all. So we are working. Every one of the mentors who have joined us have come together to just impact people. So we are not into just generating revenues and increasing the profits and just making something. We are not into that kind of a business at all. Yes, but there is a certain survival cost that we have to bear, because we are working on cloud-based systems. We have got employee base of about 45-50 people. We have to pay them salaries. They have to talk to you. We have to be in the market. We have to do a lot of social media work. There's a huge cost incurred in that, and this is a business. This is not a charity. So if there's a business and we have to do that, there is a survival cost involved. According to that, we price our products and we price our training programs. So that's all we are going to charge from you. Return on investment is huge. It's unimaginable what you're talking about, because you go for an ICF program today which gives you no support and you pay about 2.5, 3 lakhs, sometimes more than that. Here we have a program which is, I think, in tens of thousands, and you start earning within a year, you've made more than double of that at times. So what are we talking about? I don't think that's a problem at all. That's quite a simple calculation.
I
It's
think
not
there is a question, right, which is a very interesting one. I think that person has not understood. What career mentoring can be done at age of 13 and 14-year-old kid?
Okay. Right. Let me answer some more questions. Okay. So mentor, advisor, counselor, career guru. Okay. So there are a lot of these words that are being used in the market. As I said, the mentoring of anybody is a superset. Mentoring involves everything. You are an advisor, you are a guru, you are a counselor, you are a coach, you're everything. But when you talk about counseling, it's about solving problems. When you talk about coaching, it's about a specific thing that you coach them on. For example, I'm a running coach, I'm teaching somebody how to run. So coaching is about specifics. Mentoring is not specific. Mentoring is wide. Mentoring is understanding the person and letting the person take a decision. Being with that person, like a person, okay, I'm there to watch you. Come on, do what you have to do. You can decide. I'm there for you. Come on, take a decision. I will help you. These are options. Let us choose them. Let us explore them. So mentoring is much more vast, and it's much more responsibility. So that's the answer for that question. Now, what career mentoring can be done 13? Wow. Who's this? Sanjeev Chabra. Sanjeev Chabra, do you have children of the age of 13, 14? Yes or no? Yeah. So no wonder you asked this question. Now, I'm a father of a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old today. And I know what the 13, 14-year-old thinks today, okay? Are we trying to say that 13, 14-year-old are not aware about what's happening in the world of work? In US, people start earning money at this age and they're making a lot of money. Why are we telling our children that at the age of 13, 14, you have to wait till you have to make money? Most important thing in life, I believe, is to teach your children how to stand up on their own legs as far as finance is concerned. I hope there's an agreement on that. Yeah, the brainwashing that has happened is padhai karo, padhai karoge tabhi kuch sikhoge. And what do we study? Only those 5 subjects which are never used. And those 5 subjects also constrained. Only those books that are being told to study. We are actually not studying history. We are actually not studying social studies. We are only studying a book which has been given to us and said, prepare for an exam, give that exam and you are educated. Is that education? Now, I question this education system. It is something that we need to challenge now. The time has come to challenge. With the pandemic happening, we are realizing today how this education system has been fooling us, saying that just study these 5 subjects and you are educated. Come on, world is not about these 5 subjects, and neither it is about doing engineering degree and getting a degree and saying that I become an engineer. We know what happens in an engineering degree. All of us who have been done engineering degrees, we know how theoretical the concepts are. And when you compare yourself with a German engineer, you suddenly realize that German engineer can rip open a car and assemble it in one day after finishing his 4 years engineering. How many of our Indian engineers are capable of doing that? There's a big problem in our education system. These 13, 14-year-olds is the right time where they are made to see the reality and dream big. And I'm not saying for once that they should not educate themselves. I'm not against the education system. Let them educate themselves. Let them get the degrees. But along with the degrees, let them build a dream. Let them skill themselves up. Let them build their career skills. Let them build their life skills. Unless they start doing it early in life, they lose out on time. And that's very important to understand, because time can never come back. Anything can be earned back. Money can be earned back, but time will never come back. These 5-6 years of their life, from 13 years to 19 years, if they invest their time into productive work, into building their skills, into learning life skills, into learning how to work and earn money for themselves, into having a dream where they can build aspirations for themselves to be number one in the world in some area, we will change the whole perspective of society. We will change the way we think as parents. We will change the way India is thinking today. Atmanirbhar Bharat is about these young children dreaming to become like Narayan Murthy, like Dhirubhai Ambani, create those kind of industries where they become job creators and not job seekers. There's a change of mindset that is needed today. And that's why I believe that 13, 14 is the right time to start this kind of a process. I hope I answered your question, Sanjeev Chabra. Venkatagiri, once you join our mentor community, in case you're planning to join, your daughter's session will be catered in the engagement that we'll be doing with you. Okay, so there is a process where you will be getting something like a promotional code, or there is a method actually, because we want you to get impacted first. So after your training is over, we'll be offering a session for your own child, and then your child session will happen as you'll be just as a parent, you'll be a customer for us. You will go through the session, you'll get impacted, and that is when we'll give the excitement to go and talk to all your near and dear ones, saying that, see what has happened with my child, I have also trained today and I can help you. So that has to come naturally. So that's one of our process that we follow. Oh yes, Atul, you said it right. We would love to create as many ranchos as possible. Why not? We believe that it is possible. When I used to talk like this after my Navy time, people used to laugh at me. But today I am very confident, because there are 3,500 people talking the same language. And we don't mind more and more people coming in, because we are a population of 130 crores and it's going to become 160 crores. And our country is the largest youth in the world. So we require more number of mentors who think like this. And that's why we are inviting those people, those crazy, passionate people who want to make ranchos. You're welcome to join there. Yeah, the question is, Atul Shirsagar said, so it is like creating rancho is in Three Idiots. So that Ranchor Das Chachar who went to Ladakh and created a school in Three Idiots. So he says that you're creating the rancho. I said, yes, we are. And we think like that. We're not only creating ranchos, we are creating Dhirubhai Ambani's, Narayan Murthy's, great people, scientists, social service people, whoever they are. But each one of them has got a big dream and aspiration, and they believe in it, and we believe in it, that they're going to be number one. Obviously, we have a website. You can go through our website. It's www.dheya.com. And you'll get all the details there. We'll be very happy to evaluate you, and you can join us. Right now, we are tapping into the corporate. We have our campaigns that we do, and we do these webinars. The question is that how do you tap the corporate people to become mentors? So we don't really tap into anyone. People who want to join us, they inquire about us, and then we invite people based on their eligibility. So we believe that it's like a temple, and we want really good people to join our mentor community. So we don't mind having a small batch, but then the batch should be with excellent people, so that we can really do a good impact on the youth.
Is the mentoring like one-time thing?
Okay, Sanjeev, mentoring is never one time. It cannot be one time. It cannot be one time. Impossible. You cannot do a one session and say I've done mentoring. It's impossible. Mentoring is a commitment. It's a commitment for life. It's a mentor for life concept. So if I have done 500 sessions, those 500 families are connected to me, and I tell you, it's a wonderful feeling to be connected to 500 families who are thanking you. Sir, you have told us this, because of you we have done this. It's wonderful.
If I have to give the example, right, I read somewhere Sachin Tendulkar is one of the great batsmen, right? And when it comes to guru or a mentor, he always remember that Achrekar sir, right?
Absolutely.
So simple thing. Nobody talks about counselor and all, right? The mentor who is changing the life of a person, and he believes that he has an immense potential and he can do wonders. And at every stage you need a mentor. And that's what he has done. And that's why he created something wonderful out of this entire person.
Yeah, Sanjeev, your question about how do we generate business from corporate? Well, we have different programs. Once you join the community of mentors, we have a lot of programs that we do with corporate. We do parenting workshops, we do employee engagement programs. So Adani Enterprises, for example, is tied up with us. So we are doing employee engagement programs where we do the mentoring for all the children of their employees who are 13 plus. So we handle that. So we do a lot of those kind of programs. Those are our primary things that we do. On a secondary basis, they do come to us for psychometric assessments, recruitment, competency assessment, and all that, which is not our core area. But as a secondary area, we do help them out. So that's how we manage the corporates. Yes, the employee engagement thing is something, and parental workshops is something that we do very strongly with them.
So Mr. Rajesh has a question. How do generate business from corporate?
Yeah, that's what I've told him. That's exactly what I answered.
Right. So I think we don't have any further question.
So how to get started? Our team will get in touch with you. All your details are there. So Swati and team are there who will get in touch with you, and you will be initiated into the process of selection. And if you are selected, then you'll be invited for the training.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving me a patient hearing. I hope I have not, taken up too much of your time. Thank you so much for having attended this. Looking forward to meeting you all people very soon in one of the training programs or once you join there in a part of a community. Really excited to be with all of you. Thank you so much.